Good morning. My name is Ken Claiborne, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees of this congregation. Welcome to all of you. The Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Elkhart is a welcoming community, encouraging religious freedom, nurturing individual spiritual and ethical growth, celebrating diversity, and promoting a just and sustainable world. If you would like to learn more about this fellowship, please look at our website at uufe.org and join us after the service for our coffee hour. For the listening enjoyment of everyone, we ask that you at this time either turn your cell phones off or to the vibrate mode. Also, if you need hearing support, if you need hearing support, please ask for help at the sound desk. Thank you.
We have a few announcements for our fellowship life this morning. A reminder that the mitten tree is now accepting donations, mittens, gloves, hats, scarves, socks, through December 22nd. December 14th, coming up at 3 p.m., that Saturday, we are having a holiday party for the entire family at the church. It's going to be great. Come. We would like to thank Gio and Brittany for decorating our building so beautifully, our worship area, and for Carolee and Emily in hosting a Thanksgiving dinner for several people in our fellowship on Thanksgiving Day. Before I light the chalice and ring the gong, please remember that here in Elkhart we reside on the original indigenous land of the Potawatomi and Miami tribes. Yes, we still reside here. Next Sunday, December 7th, we will have a contractor in the kitchen replacing the overhead lights, so please contact Ken. Well, yeah, but you spelled it Saturday. That's an alternative spelling. December 7th, look at your calendar, find out what day that is. If you have any questions about the contractor here replacing the lights in the kitchen, which we know is a welcome thing to happen, you can please contact Ken. And after the service today, before you meet Anna in the gathering place and look at her CDs and have goodies with us, please pick up the chairs and move them to the wall so that the carpets can be cleaned next week. Our chalice lighting this morning is brought to us courteous of Joan Javier Duval. Here is where you can lay it down. Lay down all that you have carried, the weight of the world that has rounded your back, leaving you aching and exhausted. Here is where healing begins, where burdens are set down and alongside one another's, their magnitude does not seem as great. Here is where the door is thrown open and the light can lift away the shadows. Here is where you can rest, where nothing is expected but that you bring all of who you are into the presence of the holy and of his loving community. Let us worship together. Please join me in repeating our covenant in unison. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our covenant. Now Steve will lead us in our first hymn, Angels We Have Heard on High.
Stand if you're willing and able to sing number 231, and thank you for our transpositioning harpist this morning. Stand if you will, please. Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strain. Shepherds, why this jubilee? Why these songs of happy cheer? What great brightness did you see? What glad tidings did you hear? Gloria in excelsis Deo. In excelsis Deo. See him in a manger laid, whom the angels praise, adore of Mary, Joseph, lend your aid, while we raise our hearts in love. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Thank you.
We have a lovely story for you on video this morning, after which the children may go to RE. After? Okay. After the video, children may go to RE, but you will want to stay here for the story. The Giving Snowman, written by Julia Zhang and illustrated by Graziella Meligi.
The Giving Snowman, written by Julia Zhang, illustrated by Graziella Meligi. One snowy evening, Snowman stands alone in an open field. His eyes and mouth are made of little pebbles, his nose is a carrot, and he has 2 sturdy sticks for arms. He wears a big hat and has a thick scarf wrapped around his neck. A bird stops in front of the snowman, looking worried. "What's wrong, dear bird?" asks Snowman. "The snow is too heavy. Our nest has fallen down. My babies and I have lost our home." "Don't worry, bird. You can have my hat. It's big enough for you and your babies to rest in." "Thank you so much," says Bird, and off she flies with the hat. A rabbit stops in front of Snowman, looking worried. "What's wrong, dear rabbit?" asks Snowman. "The snow has covered the whole ground. My family doesn't have any food to eat, and we're very hungry." "Don't worry, Rabbit. You can have the carrot from my face, so your family will have something to eat tonight." "Thank you so much," says Rabbit, and off she hops with the carrot. A farmer stops in front of the snowman looking worried. "What's wrong, dear farmer?" asks Snowman. "Our house is very cold. I need to light the fireplace for my family, but we don't have any wood left. I only found some coal." "Don't worry, farmer. You can take the sticks from my body and use them to start a fire for your cold family." "Thank you so much," says farmer, and off he goes with the sticks. A traveler stops in front of the snowman, shivering. "What's wrong, dear traveler?" asks Snowman. "I forgot to bring a winter coat before I left for my journey. I have walked a long way and I'm freezing." "Don't worry, traveler. You can take the scarf from my neck to keep you warm." "Thank you so much," says traveler, and off he goes with the scarf. The next day, the snow stops and the sun comes out. Snowman starts to melt. Soon, he only has a little of his body left. Bird, rabbit, farmer, and traveler come back to visit Snowman. "Oh no," cries Bird. The kind snowman has melted, says Rabbit. We must do something, suggests Farmer. To repay his kindness for helping us, agrees Traveler. The four of them work as a team to rebuild Snowman. Traveler stays and builds Snowman's body with large balls of snow. Rabbit hops to the woods to look for 2 sticks. Farmer goes back to his farm to get a carrot. Bird flies to the pond to pick up some pebbles. When Traveler finishes building Snowman's body and head, he uses the carrot Farmer brought for Snowman's nose, the sticks Rabbit found for his arms, and the pebbles Bird collected for his eyes and mouth. Then, Traveler wraps the scarf around Snowman's neck and takes off his own hat, putting it on Snowman's head. Snowman is back, and he's very happy. Thank you so much for rebuilding me, says Snowman with a smile. Of course, Snowman. Thanks to you, my babies and I had a new home last night, says Bird. Thanks to you, my family had food to eat last night, says Rabbit. Thanks to you, my family was warm last night, says Farmer. Thanks to you, I made it home to my parents last night, says Traveler. Snowman smiles. Thanks to all of you, I'm back to being a snowman. I will always offer help when others need it. Everyone nods in agreement, and they become good friends with the giving snowman.
I like this story in that it shows that people were accepting, well, people and animals, accepting what they needed with gratitude and giving what they had to give. It was a two-way street, and everybody benefited. Our cash offering today will be given entirely to the UUFE Sustainability Fund to help cover unexpected needs and repairs. And now, as our offering is collected, what greater gift can there be than that of giving? For as Jim Rohn has said, only by giving are we able to receive more than we already have. A morning offering will now be taken. Anna is already known to many of us and to many in the community. Anna knew she wanted to play the harp when she was 8 years old, and we are very grateful to her parents, Kathy and David, who are here today, for trusting Anna to know her own heart and mind. She began performing professionally since she was 14. She's a member of the Elkhart Symphony and has recorded 2 CDs available in the gathering place after the service, and they are wonderful. I have them all. Her love of public speaking partners up with her talent and skill as a harpist to bring her to our very fortunate, beloved community this morning. I could give you many more details about this amazing human being, but soon I don't think you're going to care one bit about anything but her presence and her music. It's my great pleasure, Anna, to welcome you back to you.
You want to sing the hymns? 247?
Okay, because that means we get to hear Anna play. I did remember to light the chalice.
You can stay seated. 247, Old Little Town of Bethlehem. Oh, little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie. Above thy deep and dreamless sleep, the silent stars go by. Yet in a dark street shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight. For Christ is born of Mary and gathered all above. While mortals sleep and the angels keep their watch of wondering love. Oh, morn stars together proclaim the holy birth. Let praises ring from God thy free, goodwill to all on earth. How silently the wonder is made known, when God imparts to human hearts the gift that is our own. No ear may hear that coming, but in this worldly din, when souls are truly humble, then the dear babe rests within. Sorry. Thank you.
All that stuff I said before about Anna, it's still true.
Good morning, church! It is so lovely to be back with you. You know you are doing something right when they have you back more than once. So thank you so much for inviting me to come back and celebrate Advent first Sunday in December with you. I love all of these fun carols. I especially enjoyed that last line in A Little Town of Bethlehem, the gift that God gives us, because you may have seen the title of my theme this morning was bearing gifts, gifts for Christmas, which is, of course, a very popular thing around this time of year. I am a local professional harpist. I play all around the area for weddings, churches, special occasions. I play with the Elkhart Symphony. But most of what I do, probably 80% of where I play, is at senior communities. I play therapy music and entertainment programs. I play for dementia units and people on ventilators or hospice. And so every month I'm going and visiting people. And so every month I have a different theme, a different program. And this month, this time, I wanted to talk about gifts because there are so many good gift carols. We'll get to some of the traditional ones in a minute. But let me start with maybe a slightly untraditional pair. This is Bring a Torch, Jeanette Isabella, and Go Tell It on the Mountain. Now, I don't know, how many of you have heard Bring a Torch, Jeanette Isabella? Great! All the rest of you, you're in for such a treat. This is a traditional French carol, probably about 17th century. And it encourages these two milkmaids who happen to be in the stable to run and tell all the folks in the village that Jesus is born. And it's probably based in old madrigal productions when they used to have, Christmas plays. And they would include all of the people in the village and tell the people, so now run and tell all the folk in the village that Jesus Christ is born. The next carol I'm going to blend into a medley is a traditional American Appalachian tune, Go Tell It on the Mountain, over the hills and everywhere that Jesus Christ is born. Because we're going to get to physical gifts, but sometimes the first gift is good news. Thank you. Good news that Jesus Christ is born. Well, the news of Christ's birth prompts probably the most famous giving story in the sort of origin of Christmas. Of course, the wise men coming to bring really, really nice gifts to Jesus. And I'll play you one of the most famous carols, We Three Kings of Orient and Are. Now, I mentioned that I play with Deb in the Elkhart Symphony, so I'm going to have a little blended version of this carol. It includes a little bit of the Arabian dance from the Nutcracker Suite by Tchaikovsky, woven in and out of the melody of We Three Kings, for the kings journeying over the deserts of Arabia. Now, the idea of bringing gifts is actually something that ties the story of Jesus' birth all the way back to the beginning of the Hebrew Scriptures in bringing gifts to honor God at the tabernacle. The gifts that are brought by the wise men, gold, frankincense, and myrrh, are explicitly the things that are brought by the Israelites when they build the tabernacle. And the connection of these gifts in the beginning of the Gospels is pointing that the light and life and power that we were before keeping in one place in a tent is now present in a baby. Enjoy We Three Kings of Orient and Are. We Three Kings, with a little bit of the Orient, or at least Tchaikovsky's interpretation of it thrown in there. So, the three wise men bringing gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh, to the birth is recorded in Matthew. And Matthew, as a gospel, is very interested in connecting parts of the Jewish experience in the Old, what we would call the Old Testament, to what Jesus is doing. But he makes an interesting point because it's not Israelites bringing the gifts. It's kings from far away, from places that are outside of the traditional Jewish religious experience. And yet they're the ones who are bringing offerings, who are bringing gifts, who are bringing to this new establishment of a tabernacle, to a presence of God. We've opened the doors and we're including all nations right at the beginning of the very first gospel. And this wanting to share and include all nations once brings me to my next carol. This is the traditional Huron carol. This is a First Nations or an American carol. When the Jesuit missionaries from France first came over to what is now Canada and were trying to communicate the story of Christmas to the Huron people, they were telling about the three kings to a people that didn't use metal money or have kings. So they translated the concepts into the local language. It was in the moon of wintertime when mighty Gitche-Gumee sent angel choirs, and the chiefs came bearing gifts of fox and beaver pelts, because those were the things of value to the people they were talking about. And this is the great thing about good news, is as much as it is woven into the context of the first time the story was told, as we bring it out, it applies over and over again, even to the people here in the States. So enjoy this lovely Huron carol. It was in the moon of wintertime. If you were wondering where all of those extra sounds came from, I have some really fun tools that I'm using. So I was raised as a classical harpist, lots of Bach and Beethoven and Bach and Mozart and Bach and Bach and Bach and Bach and Bach, 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 Bach. I love Bach, I do. But I have recently, over the last couple of years, I've been integrating more modern effects. So I have a little pedal board here of electric guitar pedals. And the thing that I'm using the most today is called a loop pedal. So it records what I'm playing. Look, no hands. So when I want to add a little bit of layer to the carol, when I want to accompany myself, I can record something and play it over and over again and add those fun drum beats or fun things like that. So you'll hear a little bit more of that throughout the program. Now that I've played the carols about the wise men giving gifts, which is very traditional. We love to give presents. It's really fun to give someone something. And Christmas is the time where we give presents, usually physical things. But sometimes we come up against a little problem of either not knowing or not being able to give someone the thing that we really want to give them. So that takes us to our next couple carols, another little medley I want to put together, In the Bleak Midwinter and The Little Drummer Boy. The first carol is lyrics by the amazing female poet Christina Rossetti, and the second one is also by a female author whose name is escaping me right now, but both of them talk about what could I give if I'm not as rich as a wise man. I can't give gold, myrrh. That is not in my spare room that I can just pull out at Christmas time. What can I give at Christmas? And Christina Rossetti says, if I were a shepherd, I would bring a lamb. If I were a wise man, I would do my part. But what can I give? I can give my heart. And the little drummer boy has the same line. What can I give? I'm not a wise man. I'll play my best for him. And here's two things that I find really important in understanding that the heart is expressed in the quality of our action. This playing my absolute best is in itself a gift. Now, I know that I am in a very generous church. I have firsthand knowledge that you are an incredibly generous church. Not just generous with money, but generous with earnest action and earnest hearts. So enjoy In the Bleak Midwinter and The Little Drummer Boy. You know it's a good performance when you get to hit your instrument. Little drummer boy, what can I give him? I can give him my heart. So I make it a goal of mine every year to find a new Christmas carol, because I play a lot. In fact, you are the first event I'm playing in the month of December. I have 44 events scheduled in the month of December. I'm going to be a little busy over the next few weeks. But I make it a goal, since I play so much Christmas music, just for my own sanity, to find a new Christmas carol. And my Christmas carol this year, the one I discovered, is called Brightest and Best of the Sons of the Morning. Any of you heard of this carol? Oh, I'm so excited to introduce it to you. So this is lyrics by a gentleman named Reginald Hubbard, or Hubert. I don't know how the British do it. He wrote the hymn Holy, Holy, as you might know it. But he also wrote this beautiful Christmas carol that was later adapted from a British hymn book into an American folk tune, probably also from the Appalachian area. And it's called Brightest and Best of the Stars of the Morning, dawn on our darkness and lend us thine aid. Star of the east, the horizon adorning, guide where our infant Redeemer is laid. And this is the verse that I wanted to pull into today's, because it asks the same question about gift giving. Say, shall we yield him in costly devotion the fragrance of Eden, or offerings divine, gems of the mountain, or pearls of the ocean, myrrh of the forest, or gold from the mine? Vainly we offer each ample oblation, vainly with gifts would his favor secure. Richer by far is the heart's adoration, and dearer to God are the prayers of the poor. In a few verses, Reginald Hubert sums up something that is woven throughout both the scriptures and our experience, which is that the thing that God asks for, often the gold and frankincense and myrrh, in the case of the Israelites, is brought out of an overflow of the heart. But it's not the thing that was asked. The thing, as David says over and over, that was asked, if you wanted bulls or goats, if you wanted gold or myrrh, you could get them. But what you ask for is a broken heart. Enjoy brightest and best of the sons of the morning. I really encourage you to go find that carol and listen to someone who can actually sing it. There's a great version with Ricky Skaggs to enjoy. I know, right? I could play Christmas music all day, but I want to play you one more beautiful medieval carol. Let all mortal flesh keep silence. Because I've talked a lot about different kinds of gifts. The gifts of good news, the gifts of a kind word, the gifts of presents. Actual presents. I mean, I never object to actual gold. The gift of earnest action, of an earnest heart. But all of these, in the context of the carols that I played you, are gifts that are given to Jesus. They're gifts given to the baby. But as it pointed out in A Little Town of Bethlehem, and as this wonderful carol points out, Christmas starts with a gift to us. Let all mortal flesh keep silence tells the story of Christ descending. As of old on earth he stood, and that he will give of himself, of his own body for heavenly food. It tells the whole stories of the gospel in a very short carol, but it emphasizes that the gift starts with God giving the gift of his presence. The gift that was encased in a tabernacle in the beginning of the Bible is now given, present, active in a person, right in front of us, right present to you. You are not just givers this year. You are not just some very, very generous people that I am very blessed to know. You are recipients. You are being given a gift. Let all mortal flesh keep silence. when Jesus is introducing himself and trying to explain himself, not just to the people who didn't know him, but to the people who were supposed to know him really, really well. At the very end of the Gospels, he says, "The Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give himself, to give his life as a ransom for many." That's how he identified himself, not as a receiver, but as the gift. So, this Christmas, as I have had the privilege of coming to play for you, thank you for giving me another opportunity to bring harp music to you. I just want to remind you that as incredibly giving and generous as you are not just giving, you are receiving. Because you are incredibly loved. Thank you very, very much.
Let's stand for our last hymn, number 245, Joy to the World. Joy to the world, the word is come. Let earth with praises ring. Let every heart prepare anew. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. Joy to the earth, now gladness reigns. Let hearts their songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills, and plains repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy. No more let sins and sorrows grow, nor thorns infest the ground. Let righteousness its glory show, as far as love is found, as far as love is found, as far as love is found.
Let us read together the extinguishing of the chalice. We extinguish this flame. As we begin this beautiful new season of wonder, let us gratefully be aware of all the gifts bestowed upon us, as well as those that we have grown. And let us choose to celebrate those blessings of time, talent, treasure, and spirit by sharing them with others, eagerly spreading love and joy into and beyond our beloved community. Amen. Blessed be. Go in peace.
The duet for you. So, as we've said, Deb and I play in the Elkhart Symphony, and a few years ago, Deb said, "Hey, did you know they make duets for horn and harp?" And I said, "They do what?" "Yes, please." So Deb found all of this music, and we're going to play you George Friedrich Handel's Come Unto Him.